There are a couple of ways for you to pay for your vacation. You can save for a while and dip into your savings account. You can accumulate a massive load of credit card points and then use those points to pay. Or you can use my all-time favorite way to take a trip and let the government pay for it. So in this video, we're going over everything you need to know about deducting your vacation. Stick around to the end to deduct your next one. Okay, the first thing I want you to know is that the IRS allows you to deduct nearly all of the costs when traveling for business, even if you use a chunk of that time to sip a mojito by the beach. But there are a few rules that you must follow to make the IRS happy and qualify the trip as a business trip. Starting with number one, and that's leaving your place of business. Also known as your tax home, you won't qualify to deduct your travel as an expense if you don't leave your main place of business. Your tax home is considered the general area of your place of business, including the city and surrounding areas. So, a general rule of thumb is that you must be gone for longer than a workday and must need to rest or sleep at the destination. Secondly, the trip must be primarily business related. Remember this. Trips planned with the intention of pleasure in some business are not deductible, but trips with the intention of business that happen to include pleasure are deductible. Now, the definition of primarily business related differs whether you are traveling within the United States or if you're traveling internationally. Here's how. If you're traveling within the United States, you must spend the majority of your days doing work-related activities. Luckily for you though, the days you spend traveling to and from the destination count as business days. So you could potentially travel on a Monday, do business on a Tuesday, then travel back on Wednesday, and that entire 3-day trip would be tax deductible. Additionally, if you're stuck over the weekend and perform legitimate business on Friday and Monday, the weekend becomes a write-off, which can set you up for a 6-day trip. Thursday through Tuesday, that is 100% deductible with 2 travel days, 2 personal days, and then 2 days for doing business. Third, the trip must be considered ordinary and necessary. For a trip to be deductible, it must be both ordinary for the industry and necessary for the operation of business. This means that you can't be too bougie with your expenses. I'll take the presidential suite, please. It has to make sense, once again, for your industry and business operations. Now, the IRS does give some wiggle room here. For example, anyone can fly first class or eat at a nice restaurant. But flying to Omaha to eat a $6,000 burger likely won't fly with the IRS. Lastly, the business must be planned in advance. You must show intent that the trip is for business, and besides actually doing business when you get there, you must also show that the business conducted was planned. You can't go on vacation and hand out a business card and attempt to deduct the trip. Listen, instead, I want you to book appointments, make itineraries, and create plans before you go on your trip and keep documentation of it. Doing so helps you establish that the business purpose for the trip was conducted prior to you leaving. Now, that was the rules for business travel within the United States. But what are the rules if you travel for business internationally? Well, the rules are actually a lot more lenient. So if you travel outside the United States for business and spend at least 25% of your time doing business, the entire trip counts as a business trip. Yep, you heard that right. You can spend 75% of your time for personal use when you travel for business outside of the United States and still receive 100% deduction on your travel expenses. But if you spend less than 25% of your trip doing business, you still get to take a deduction, but it will have to be proportional to the time you spent working. So as an example, if you only spend 15% of your time doing business internationally, you can deduct 15% of your costs. Hey, by the way, if you're enjoying this video, go ahead and give this a thumbs up. It truly helps other people to see it on YouTube. Now that we know what qualifies as business travel, here's a list of common tax deductible expenses for your next business trip. The first is travel. You can deduct 100% of the cost to travel to your destination, to get around once at the destination, and from your destination back home. Common travel expenses include airplane tickets, train tickets, baggage fees, bus tickets, rental cars, cabs, Ubers, Lyfts, tolls, and tips you make while traveling. Think tips to Uber drivers, cab drivers, bellhops, and more. Now, if you drive your own vehicle to get to and from the destination, you can take the actual cost or use the standard mileage deduction when you file your taxes. Also, if you happen to travel at no cost due to something like frequent flyer miles, credits, or another program that doesn't cost you directly, you are not able to deduct anything as you did not incur a cost. The next is lodging. Hotels, motels, Airbnbs, and even reimbursement to friends or family members for staying at their home are tax deductible. When it comes to lodging, only the lodging that corresponds with days you do business are actually tax deductible. So remember that the days you spend traveling to and from the destination counts as business days. And if you perform legitimate business on Friday and Monday, the weekend that you use personally can also be written off. Then we have meals. You see, meals eaten at a restaurant while on a trip are only deductible while you are discussing business during the trip. So if you're eating with a partner, a client, a vendor, or potential client, you can write off 50% of the meal. Also, meals you eat while traveling to the destination can also be deducted by 50%. But if you simply stroll into a restaurant with no business conducted while at the destination, you are not offered any deduction from Uncle Sam. And then we have essentials needed for business. You see, outside of travel, lodging, and meals, a category many people forget is essentials. Now, essentials are anything you need to conduct business, which can include things such as dry cleaning, laundry, computer rentals, equipment rentals, Wi-Fi fees, hotspot fees, and more. Now, these rules apply to most business owners, but there are a few industries that have specific rules for business travel deductions, including rotators, union members, traveling nurses, firefighters, EMTs, police officers, volunteers, performing artists, state legislators, and a few more. Now let's talk expenses under $75. Except for lodging expenses, you don't need to provide receipts or proof for travel expenses that are $75 per expense. As an example, if you buy a Chick-fil-A chicken biscuit for $6.50 for breakfast while traveling to your destination and a pen for $2 to meet with a client while at the destination, you don't need a receipt for either, as none of the expenses are over $75. Now, traveling with friends and family. In general, you can't directly deduct the expenses of family or friends who join you while on a business trip, unless they are partners in the business. But you can still deduct the entire cost of car rentals and a portion of lodging if they tag along, as long as the expense is something you would have purchased if you were alone. Let's break that down. For car rentals, if you would have rented an SUV, whether friends or family came along anyway, they are free to fill the seats that would have been empty otherwise, and you still can write it off 100%. For lodging, you can deduct a portion of hotel or motel costs that would have paid for a single room. So if a single room costs $200, but you are in a double queen with your friend for $300, you can deduct $200. Well, there you have it, how to write off a vacation. Next time you're on a business trip, be sure to remember this video. And hey, if you found it helpful, do me a favor and hit that like button for me. It helps others to find this video on YouTube. And subscribe to the channel for more financial information that helps you save on taxes and create more profit in your business. Also, be sure to check out our Money Smart Startup course, where we walk you through how to form, fund, and understand the finances of your business. You can find it in the description below. As always, I'm Quran from LYFE Accounting. Until next time.